So it's like a winter wonderland out there. Of course, it's not as cold as it looks right now. I think it's probably in the 40s or low 40s. But there's definitely a lot of collection of snow in this area. Since there's been nobody that's walked on any of this yet, I was just going to go through and kind of check out the different animal tracks and find a spot to set up camp. We don't always, you know, get off on Friday or get out on Friday real early to go camping. So we just make the best of the time that we have. Like today is Saturday, and it is literally 4:15, so 5:30 it gets dark. So I'm gonna take and make the best of the time I have. I'm literally not gonna go very far as where I camp from the truck. So, you know, you don't always get to hike in to places. You just take the time that you have with the property that you have to play on and make the best with it. I'm thinking just past that direction there is where I'm gonna set up camp, but I'm gonna scout it out. Appear to look like some old bunny tracks. I'll show you what it looks like when he was getting into some deeper snow. The steps get a lot closer, and it looks like he was struggling a little bit more to hop through his tracks. Kind of neat to see the progress he was making. Made it to this tree pile here, it looks like. And then he decided to literally go back where he came from. Well, pretty much. Go back over to that brush pile over there. So I'm gonna look around and see if I can figure out any of these other tracks. Of course, they're probably all old, so I'm sure I won't be able to figure out what they really are. I've got a lot of work to do as far as learning what different tracks are. That's something I haven't really worked on too much, and I really probably should spend more time doing it. Of course, that is with everything that we do. It's hard to find time for everything. So, looks like here we have, I don't know, guys. These are not fresh. They're not old. It looks like some kind of dog or canine type tracks to me. Some of them have sat on top. You can almost see some nail prints, so I'm thinking that's some kind of canine. But here's some more, but these, I don't know what these are. Yeah, we'll go check this out. This right here is something we see commonly, at least around here or in my state. But over there is an Osage orange, or we call them hedge apples or hedge balls. But of course this one here has been completely mutilated. Usually the squirrels will sit there and eat at them. A lot of times you'll find them on branches or at base of trees, things like that, or forks of trees sometimes. And the squirrels like to tear them up and eat it, get to the center of them. But I just thought I'd share that because that's kind of a, I don't know, common neat thing. So guys, I'm looking at this spot here. It doesn't have any snow. My good friend's gonna come camp with me tonight, and he's gonna pick a hammock. And if you noticed a trend of me, I've been sleeping on the ground quite a bit here in the last few videos. I've been wanting to test a lot more of the ground sleeping out. You know, just for future instances, something that may come up, because you're not always going to have a hammock, even though, sorry about that guys, all that background vehicle noise, but like I was saying before, you kind of, you know, pick and choose where you camp, kind of. But you can't always sleep in a hammock. You don't always have that choice. So I've been trying to at least acclimate myself, or try to find comfortable ways to sleep on the ground. And I'm going to try to pick out this spot right here. You can see there's some cedars right there. And of course the sun's going down. But there's, you know, a nice open spot right here in the middle for if we want to put a fire and on this cedar tree over here, which that glare is awful. It's going to have plenty of branches to get a small fire started. And of course, I've showed you in some other videos cedar bark, how great it works for getting the fire started also. So this is the spot I found, and I'm going to go ahead and start getting set up. Looks like I got about an hour till the sun goes down. So guys, if you notice, I've been trying to test out a bunch of different stuff because I read a lot of stuff in different books, or I see people put out videos on different concepts. And of course, you've seen my video where I did the leaf shelter test. And the one thing that the books don't tell you or show you, and what in my video I did doesn't show you or tell you, is you're not always going to get the leaves when they are dry. So are these usable right now as an insulation bed? Because quite frankly, it has been raining, freezing rain, snowing, and here recently the temperature started to come back up a little bit, so all the snow has melted back out. Well, not all of it, but quite a bit of it has. And all day the other day it had rained, so everything is just soaking wet. The ground is a muddy mess. That's why I've got my muck boots on right now. So maybe you guys can help me out. Give me some ideas. What do you think I could use in a situation like this? Because more than likely when you need a shelter or something like that, it's going to be because, well, let's just say there's going to be water involved in some sort. It's going to be windy out. Those two things are the reason why we need shelter for the biggest part. Because on a nice warm day or a warm night, you know, probably don't need a shelter for say, just a nice spot to sit that's dry. So you guys can help me out, maybe give me some ideas. Is this stuff good while it's wet right now to use as an insulator from the ground, even if I put a tarp over top of it? I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. These are things I want to figure out. I want to know. I want to test these things out myself. So, with that being said, today I'm thinking about piling some up if I can find some. The other thing that the books don't tell you about is, what if the ground is covered in snow? Then what do you do? Because you ain't going to find these leaves. Something to think about. In Kansas, we got a lot of grass usually, but with that being said, it's not always a lot of thick grass like you've seen in that last video we used for our insulation bed. That just happened to be a good situation where we had that resource. Now, like I said, I've got these cedar trees around here, but I've never used the cedar boughs as an insulation for bedding. I've used it while hunting, clip off, you know, some branches, put it underneath you as a seat or something like that, and that works good to get you up off the snow. But I don't know. Help me out, guys. Give me some ideas. I'd like some ideas to do some newer videos or different videos. I don't mind testing these things out. I usually like to do it in a controlled situation, and when I mean controlled, either somebody's there with me to assist me if it does go wrong. And for me, I usually try to not let it get that far, because obviously we don't want to get that far. But what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and maybe collect some leaves around the campsite, but leave these kind of right here, so where I'm going to put down my pad is not going to be muddy around it, because these leaves help a lot to keep the mud down. Hang tight. So I'm just going to clear this spot out a little bit, and I think I'm just going to kind of lay up in here. That way it'll give us plenty of room for him to set up his hammock, and we can put the fire right out here front. I don't think we're going to do a big fire because it's really not going to get that cold outside today. I don't even think it's going to get below freezing. Somewhere around 33 degrees is what I think it's set at. So guys, I just used a limb that was just literally laying around. I think it may have been even one I snapped off the tree there. It's kind of using it as a rake, just, you know, scoop the stuff over here into a pile. And that is not enough leaves. It's actually not even close. And like I was saying, it's kind of hard to find a bunch of them around here to collect to make enough. And I'm definitely going to pay for that tonight. This is something people don't tell you, is the amount of time it takes to collect enough debris to make a comfortable or a worthwhile bedding. Now, you would definitely want to spend plenty of time getting that comfortable, because you're not going to sleep hardly a lick, especially if you haven't done this a lot. I'm not saying that I have either, but at least from my experiences, you sleep, you know, a ton better the more time you spend on your bedding. So I've laid my cheap, you know, Walmart tarp that's got holes in it for a ground pad. Probably didn't need to do that. And I'm gonna go with my canvas tarp, and tonight I'm gonna sleep with my improvised bedroll. I don't know if I said this in my video, but this is just something I've always wanted to get when I was younger and up through now, is a canvas bedroll. So kind of like the cowboys and Indians, or I should say Indian or cowboys more than anything. But I'm going to set that out there and get right back with you. Alright guys, so what I wanted to do is go ahead and show you some of the new things that I've gotten over Christmas, or at least the last time you've seen me film. One of the things that I got was literally today. I was like a little kid checking the United States Postal Service's tracking on this thing, just praying that it would come in today so I could use it tonight. And one of them is this blanket here, and it's a Labarca wool blanket. I probably will put a link in another video when I do another video on this blanket here, because I definitely want to test it out, get a good feel for it. It is probably 3 to 4 times thicker than my Hudson Bay that I have been using for the last few years. So I'm kind of excited about that. It is a little bit shorter in both directions. I wish it was a little bit bigger, because I've always kind of wished that my Hudson Bay was just a little bit bigger. But I'm going to try to not make this too long. So I'm going to kind of push through some of these things that I got. This was a Christmas gift. This is the Morris Kachansky pot, or Morris pot they call it, I guess. Got this one from the Pathfinder school. The lids on them are super tight, so you don't have to worry about them coming off inside your pack or really getting loose or anything like that. Has butterfly handles on the back. Like I said, you'll see more of this coming up in the time to come. The handle locks in the upward position, which is really nice. Got some pour spout right here. And my pack's kind of full right now because I was going to bring this stuff out to kind of show you my Christmas stuff. Oh, you guys are going to like this one maybe. It's kind of a fun thing. It's not really bushcrafty per se, but I ended up getting a BioLite stove, and I went ahead and got their whole package. This is a grill that goes on top of it. I'll kind of set it up real fast and show you what it is here. Comes with this bag, and I haven't used this pot here yet. I have used the grill one time. But what it comes with this bag, some fire starters for it, and this little ring here, which I'll show you either now or obviously in a future video what it's for. But what's kind of neat about this here is the siliconized lid comes off here, and the stove itself fits inside the pot. And inside this, well, let's see here, just came off. Inside that has a little bowl that fits inside this right here. So you can use that as just, you know, eating. You know, on the side of it, it's stamped with the liters and our cups, and the inside of it here. It's got some nice butterfly handles. It has flame ports on the side, so when you set it on top of the stove, go ahead and open this up. So the legs fold out. I'm sure you guys have seen these, or if not, you can definitely look up plenty of videos on these, but here's the flame catcher. You hook it in the bottom and then fold the last leg up, and that there is the stove. Now what I liked about this pot was is it literally fits right on top of here, and that's what it was designed for, to sit nice and snug on top of this BioLite. And the other thing is you can use this lid for it while you're actually heating it up. It has a nice pour spout on the side of it. And this is kind of a more for family camping, if you want to call it that. But it has these two legs that fold out. This top pops off. And this top, you can use it as a plate, like a dinner plate. Just kind of eat off of it. Then, it's going to be hard to do without setting this down, but this fits right over top of that, and the legs sit on the ground, and you can grill. And while you're grilling, you can just feed the wood in through the top right here. Push that back down, let the flames come out around it. Pretty cool. That is used to also charge anything that accepts a USB port. So, oh, one thing in my pocket that I got for Christmas. See here. Just for right now, I got it hooked up to my EDC, just for today actually. But I got a Swiss Army knife. Can't remember which one this one is right now off the top of my head. But it has the scissors, saw, and all, 2 blades, can opener, toothpick, and I want to do a video just specifically on this, so look for that coming up. Anyway, what else? Oh, forgot to show you on the BioLite. So this will hold bigger pots here on the top of this, and this little metal ring snaps on over top of all of this. That way you can set littler pots on it. What else did I get? Okay. This is one thing that I've been wanting for some time. Haven't even took the tag off it, guys. Like I said, haven't used any of it yet, so I can't tell you anything about it. This is from the Pathfinder School also. I like to spend my money, you know, within the bushcraft community per se. And Dave's a good guy. So, this is a poncho tarp. So, anyway, it has a Velcro spot here for the hood, which Velcros. It's off center, so the ring shed off of it won't go up through the back side of the Velcro. Haven't got to test that out yet. Just haven't had time, guys. I won't even get to test it out tonight. It's not gonna rain. Well, I shouldn't say it's not gonna rain, because forecasters are constantly wrong. What else did I get? I know I'm missing something. just cannot think of what it is right now. Anyway, my friend's coming down here right now, and I'll get to talking to him. And if I think of something else, I'll come back on. So guys, like I said in my last video, I've wanted to use my axe, but of course it's always dangerous. I don't care what anybody says, a saw is always safer. So I've been doing a ton of trying to do research here recently. Justin's definitely got me wanting to try it more with him getting his new axe and, you know, getting out there and using it. He's kind of set himself up to just go out and use nothing but his axe for the day. Don't even use his knife. So as you see me chopping that, I chopped it all the wood on the other side of the tree, basically, trying to give myself no chance of coming out this end of the log. So I did it all on the other side, and definitely the chips were flying good. One thing that I did see, and I'll switch the camera around here and kind of show you what I did see, even more Skachansky and some very respectable people showing on how to cut down a tree, which I thought was very interesting and completely different than what I had previously thought or even done, for that matter. Alright guys, so here's a tree, just an example. This is a very small tree. Definitely wouldn't want to tackle something too huge anyway. I'm not going to chop this tree down, just so you know, because there's no need to do it. But some of the interesting things that I seen him doing was just kind of taking the butt of the axe and just tapping the tree, just to make sure that, you know, any loose limbs or anything weren't going to fall down and hit him in the head while he's actually chopping on the tree. You know, just kind of looking up and just making sure it's going to be safe for him to start chopping on it. The other thing that I seen for safety, you know, axe safety, was he said don't chop up here up high, which I don't know. I don't know anything about this, guys. He said clear out all the brush around you. Definitely cleave a path that you could get away. No upswings like this, because that could glance and hit you in the face. Only downward swings, which I found very interesting. You know, he just said just keep chopping downwards and working your way up. You know, stay, you know, he said you don't want to stump any taller than 12 inches. So he said just start chopping down here and then slowly work your way up, and then change your angle of your axe just a little bit with still a downward motion to clear chips until you get, you know, whatever, halfway through. I don't know what it is, so don't go off of what I tell you. You definitely want to do your own research, but I'm just telling you what I come to, and then, you know, going to the other side of the tree and doing the same thing. Also, another thing he said to do when you're doing this is obviously check to see which way the tree looks like it's going to fall anyway, because this one's leaning that direction pretty darn good, so definitely would know that it's going to go that way, or at least you would think it would. What are some other things I can think of? Anyway, the biggest thing I got out of the whole thing was just doing downward chops and not doing any upward chops like you would think a V-notch, you know, like we definitely always think of, as you see in axe cutting, you know, championship type deals. Alright, I'm going to finish cutting this one up over here and get some firewood collected. If you guys have noticed, I've been not just waylaying the thing like that, you know. I've been trying to take a little bit more time and get a little bit more precise hits, because I've kind of noticed that if I just take my time, I actually go through the wood. It seems quicker and safer and with less energy. As I'm doing this, I'm kind of noticing that a few of them are slipping off, but they're catching the other side as they're being slipped or skipped through there. They're not, I'm just hitting the angle just wrong that it's skipping through there. So maybe something to think about. Heartwood's definitely the harder part, it seems. So if you guys are wondering, that's a Weatherlings. I got it from the canteen shop. Alright guys, so we got that one done. I just snapped it off there the last little bit so I don't have to chop all the way through it. So guys, what you're seeing right here is I watched Sep's video on this particular stove and I made a comment that I liked it, something to at least that nature, or that I had always kind of wanted to get one of these. And the owner of the company that makes these stoves contacted me and told me he wanted to send me one for free, so I did not pay for this. And I thought, well, okay, as usual. But here is his website, www.bushcraft-essentials.com. So this is a Bushcraft Essentials stove. I'm not actually sure what size this is considered on his site. I didn't really look that heavily. Most of you that are in the US may have to click on the top right of their website to change the pricing over to United States or English or whatever, US dollar. But the stove come in this, well, what do you call a linen bag? And I'll do a video on how it goes together, because it actually goes together fairly simple. I'm actually kind of excited too. My buddy over Iron Line has a new stove that he has designed. I'm kind of curious to see what all he has come up with on that. He showed a little bit of it recently in a new video of him burning in it, and burnt for like a half an hour. Something close to that. So it did pretty good. Be curious to see how it stacks up to this one here. This one looks like it's water jet or laser cut out. I don't really know. But look for a video coming up on that, guys. Gotta line up the notches, and you push it down until it clicks. You hear that click? The actual clicking is because there's a notch to actually hold it in. You have to literally pull this top. I don't know if you guys got one of these, but you literally got to pull this top away a little bit to pull it off. Otherwise, you just ain't gonna pull it apart. I struggled for some time to get this apart. until I figured that out. I'm gonna see if you guys can see that little notch right there. See that? That little notch ensures that once you got it in there, it locks in tight. I mean, it's not coming off. I mean, I was, you know, jerking on it, thinking, why am I such a wuss? But it was just the notch. So anyway, we'll get the rest of this put together, and I'll get right back to the other side in, guys. Figured if I didn't show this, you guys would probably be asking questions immediately, and then I'd have to find time to try to do a video for it. And here lately I haven't had a lot of spare time. I haven't burned anything in this yet. I would like to be able to do it on this outing, but I don't know if I'm going to find the time or not. So you see how that just kind of slid in there? This is the ashtray on the bottom, and then this allows the ash to go down, and the other side just slips over top of it. If I could just stick it on correctly the first time. Yes, I'm human. There you go. But that clicks on there very nicely. And this is where you would feed the wood, and then you could just, you know, let ashes go out there. And for the top of it, has these nice little. This one sets it flush. Which ways the camera need to be turned here? Flush. And if you turn it over, it actually sets it above the surface. So that locks that in there. I would think most of the times you'd probably put it flush. So it has two of those. So you can easily put, you know, a little pot on this. And of course, if you tip this over, those top ones will come off, but who's going to tip it over while you got a fire? Let's see here. Oh, another thing is the shelf with the holes in it. I think it's that shelf. Can be moved up to this extra slot here, and it'll sit right here on this window here. Like I said, I'll try to do a video on it later. It's really pretty cool. Of course, these holes are not only logos, but allow air ventilation into the stove. And then, of course, all these extra ports on top allow the fire to whip around your pot. It is definitely not light per se, but not exactly heavy either. This is going to be a little shaky, guys, but I'm going to show you kind of what camp is looking like right now. Kind of cleaned it up just a little bit. Nothing special. Created a little path to get through there to gather firewood. Got my ground tarp, my blanket just sitting there. We're starting to collect a little bit of wood. We're not really worried about the fire too much tonight, so we're just going to collect enough just to kind of cook and eat and, you know, chat around the fire. So my buddy's set up, he's got, he's over there collecting wood. I need to shut up and go do the same thing. But you can see the creek bottom's right down there. So it might get a little chilly because we're pretty close to the bottom of the creek. But at least we're not down in it. There you go. It's actually kind of a cozy little spot. I wish you guys could kind of see it, because it's pretty well surrounded with cedar trees, like this one right here. All right. That sucked. So guys, I'm out here, got my BioLite going. See the flames that shoot out of this sucker. I got my pot on top trying to get some water heated up. I'm gonna just eat some Mountain House, something simple. And taking a note from Philip, because he's got to use this a lot, trying to feed some wood through the side porch here. I better get busy because this thing's hungry. Look at that, guys. This thing is crazy. Went ahead and turn it on high. I don't even know why you would need high, unless you're just trying to supercharge boil this thing. It's like a jetpack. It's definitely a hungry machine. If you don't take the top off, you got to keep feeding this puppy. And you know, Philip was saying something about how it kind of tends to like to just be fed a little bit at a time, which kind of noticing seems to be about true. Put it on high, it kind of makes it hard to keep up with the feeding process. Definitely any port that you start putting stuff in doesn't put the flames out as good as the other ones. If that steam doesn't show you that this thing is boiling, I'd put my camera over top of it, but literally the lens would just get fogged up. But I wish you could see that. It is boiling really, really good. I actually pulled the lid off, which now I realize, and which I should have known before anyway, the steam about burnt me. It was just, steam was rolling out of the spigot, which, you know, if anything steams, basically, it kind of means that it's boiling inside. That's cool. It didn't take very long, honestly. So now I boiled 4 cups of water in just a matter of minutes, and now I'm gonna make my Mountain House, maybe some hot chocolate, you name it. All right, guys, it's about 7:30. We're just sitting here chatting, but one of my favorites is beef stroganoff. Almost always tastes good. So I'll be honest with you, I got my Morris pot out, which you probably can't see too much of. I'm just boiling a bunch of water, just to be boiling it, to be honest with you, for the most part, just kind of playing and testing with my gear. Sometimes you just got to have a little bit of fun. This, you know, just like this BioLite stove, it's just kind of a fun thing that you wouldn't want to necessarily probably take backpacking. I mean, I don't know, maybe I will. But it is kind of heavy for what it is. But got a fire over there, and I've been just boiling water, just watching it boil. Feeding the thing sticks. I like fire, what can I say? Well, this is good. You can tell it's a little cold now, huh? I actually got chilled and had to put on my... Hey, somebody just messaged me. It's probably Philip, let me check. Well, it's Malcolm. Well, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. As you can see the tree behind me. Obviously the fire in front of us is getting a little big. Let me turn the camera so you can see this. Check this out. It's not big, but it's definitely lightening things up here. And you can feel the warmth. It almost, these trees being surrounded kind of around us, all these cedar trees, almost holds the heat kind of in here. You know, to a certain degree. Definitely gives an ambience of glow coming off all these other trees. So guys, got the shelter here going. I got a mess over here. Got my phone charging. Got the fire literally right there. So you can kind of see stuff. Fire. It's a little close. But I also put up, what you probably can't see, is this reflective tarp. Here, I've got my wool blanket down here. I'm going to have my little pillow, which I think is right underneath the wool blanket up there. We literally just moved the fire to here. It was 37 degrees a little while ago. Now it's already 47. I'm just setting this on my wool blanket there. And got this other one up top. It says 49 degrees right now. And it was 37 degrees a while ago. Like I said, it's only supposed to get to 33, 34, something like that. But nice fire. It's definitely not a big one. I mean, it may look big, but yeah, you can kind of see I'm not too far from it. It's definitely keeping me nice and toasty. My good friend's sitting over there on his stump with his reflective tarp, kind of flying it like a wedge up top.
I'm up to 55.
55.
Yes.
Nice. It's definitely helping. I mean, we're not cold, but sometimes it's nice to kind of just be warm. So it's morning. Getting ready to make some hot, well, I don't have hot chocolate, never mind. Make some coffee. And some breakfast or whatnot. I slept pretty good. Woke up twice to go pee. Maybe I'll think about getting one of those bottles, Justin. I don't know. But it wasn't too bad. Stayed pretty warm. I'm sure I was snoring. You know, sleeping on the ground here like I did, I didn't actually, I don't know if it's because this blanket's thicker, but I didn't feel the conduction from the ground. And you know, you see me put the leaves down a little bit before I put this tarp down and whatnot. Yeah, worked out pretty good. Got the fire going in front of us right now. So down here it's 56 degrees. Says the same thing up there. Just kind of relaxing and enjoying the time. Guys, I wanted to show you something that my good friend Justin over at Greer Wolf gave to me on our last outing. Haven't got to try it out yet. I thought maybe I was going to use it this time, but fact is, just didn't really need to. But he got me a Soul Escape bivvy. The material actually, I mean, I haven't actually unrolled it or pulled it out, but the cover on it, the outside of this is the exact same material as what it's made of, and it actually feels like it's, you know, pretty tough for what it is. And of course you could poke a hole in it, I'm sure, but it's pretty nice. He said he tested his out and was pretty impressed with it, so I'm kind of looking forward to testing it out myself. I'm gonna get finished packed up here, gonna get the fire put out. I mean, it's not much flame left, it's just mostly coals, so we'll throw some water on that, make sure it's completely out before we leave. It's fun. You know, there wasn't a lot of time to do a lot of stuff, and you know, sometimes it seems like a lot of work to just come out, collect some firewood, set your camp, go to bed and wake up, but there's always something that you seem to learn or get out of it. At least the experience of sleeping outdoors. So. This here, guys, is probably the biggest base of any tree that I've ever seen. Definitely within this state, but it has actually come to that sad moment where, well, got to go back to our normal days or normal lives. I just really enjoy myself out here. Always have a lot of fun. Always learn something. And I just love sharing it with you guys, I really do. You know, I've gotten a lot of support here recently. There's a lot of great comments from you guys. I really value those. And I do appreciate them a lot. But anyway, you guys take care.